guys, it's me Annie and welcome back to another bookish video. So as promised, today I'll be talking about a book that I mentioned in my previous video, and that is Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. So I first saw this book at a secondhand bookstore about a year ago, but I didn't even bother picking it up because I honestly thought the cover was really creepy. I don't know if I'm the only one, but yeah, it kind of creeped me out. But then again, whenever I would go to other bookstores, I kept seeing this book, and my husband also happened to watch the movie and he kept telling me again and again that the story was so good. That gave me enough reason to finally buy this book and read it myself, and I'm glad that I did because it turns out that it's not really a creepy story after all. So yes guys, don't judge a book by its cover. So for those of you who don't know what this book is about, it follows the story of a teenage boy named Charlie. And the story was basically told in Charlie's perspective through a series of letters that Charlie was writing to an anonymous friend. So in the beginning part of the novel, in Charlie's first letter, he confides in us and tells us of two very painful events that took place in his life. First, the death of his friend Michael, who killed himself, and second, the death of his favorite aunt, Aunt Helen, who died in a car accident. Also in Charlie's first letter, he tells us that he's about to begin high school and he's just really terrified about it. So yeah, basically the whole story is all about how Charlie maneuvers himself and, you know, finds his way through his first year of high school. What I really love about Perks of Being a Wallflower is that it's very relatable. As I was reading about Charlie's life, I was brought back to those days when I was growing up, when I was adjusting in a new school, you know, trying to find friends that I would like, trying to fit in, trying to discover who I really was, and, you know, just dealing about family and personal problems at the same time, and having those first crushes. You know, talking about the characters in this story, I really love the characters and the relationships that were spoken of in the story. I love the relationship that Charlie had with his brother and sister. You know, they fight, they pick on each other, which is really normal for siblings, and when things were really hard, they were really there for each other. And I really love Charlie's friends in the story. They were really fun characters to get to know, and there were two friends in particular that Charlie really cared about. That was Sam and Patrick. So Sam and Patrick were a few years ahead of him, but you know, being who Charlie was, being shy and introvert and being a wallflower, it's not easy. It's not easy to navigate your way through high school, but Sam and Patrick are really there for Charlie, and I really love that. Another thing that I really loved about Perks of Being a Wallflower is how subtle the story progressed and how it managed to surprise me. Yes, in Charlie's first few letters, you begin to see like, oh, he's just an ordinary boy, you know, dealing with ordinary things in high school. But as I was moving along towards the middle of the story, there was something there that you immediately notice that, okay, something's wrong, something's different, like something's wrong with Charlie. And that really kept me hooked because I really wanted to find out. I really wanted to understand why Charlie was behaving that way or why he was saying those things. So I was just really curious towards the end of the story. And not to mention, there was a huge twist at the end. Oh my goodness, I was blown away, and yeah, you guys have to read this book. I guess the only issue that I have with Perks of Being a Wallflower is that I often forgot that Charlie was 15 or 16 because he turned 16 in the story. I don't know, there were times in the book that he acted like he was 12 or I don't know, but younger than 15. But then again, learning about his background and what happened to him, I figured that it might have played a role on why he was acting like that. So I don't know, I'm not really sure. Well, anyway, overall I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars in Goodreads. I must say that it is a good book. I love that Stephen Chbosky was able to be very vocal and straight to the point because, you know, there are so many themes in this book that I believe are very important and that we should all be aware about. And one more thing I want to add before I finish this review is that even though there are so many dark and painful things that have happened in the story, I love that it was still able to end in a very positive note. It just reminds me that, you know, even though life can be very tragic and heartbreaking sometimes, there's hope, there's light at the end of the tunnel, and I love that this book was really able to portray that. I was also able to watch the movie, and I must say I was really impressed. I heard that the author, Stephen Chbosky, was very much involved in the making of the movie, and that was really cool. They did their best to be as true and as loyal to the book as possible. Although, of course, there were some scenes and important events that were not included in the movie, and yeah, for example, there was a part in the book that Charlie was with his friends and he read to them a poem. The poem was so beautiful. It was so symbolic and significant. and I was honestly really looking forward to hear that poem in the movie, but too bad they didn't include that. Anyway, so if you guys are into YA novels or stories that include teenagers and, you know, growing up, I would highly recommend that you read The Perks of Being a Wallflower and watch the movie as well. So that was my review of The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. If you guys enjoyed watching this video, give it a big thumbs up. And if you've already read this book or watched the movie, I would love to know what you thought about it. So share your thoughts in the comment section below. And if it happens to be your first time bumping into my channel, be sure to hit the red subscribe button down there for more bookish videos. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!